So in this video, I'm breaking down the #1 advertorial that I've ever seen. It's very advanced. I break it down into a 14-point structure that you can use to write your own. I give you all the tools and tactics in the description below of making your own advertorial, and I'm gonna break down exactly why and how this one works. This is the only video you'll need to understand how an advertorial works, and by the end of this, you'll have everything you need to write your own, to understand why it works, and to test more of them. All right, enjoy. First of all, the headline. This is a strong headline. Top doctor of physical therapy, you have your authority figure right there. And then you have a promise, a big promise here. This is the best way to relieve edema in your legs and feet fast. So a huge promise, especially if you're dealing with this problem. This is the best way, implying that it's gonna come next. This is very strong. It's just like an implicit promise, an implicit expectation. And then it goes into the subheadline, which is point number 2. And it's a call out. It's an if-then call out. These are usually very strong, either in hooks for the VSL ads or just right on the advertorial. If you struggle with, and then you name the problem, this is the qualifier of the avatar, then read this short article right now or listen to this or watch this VSL. So this captures the right attention. We're maintaining it. Obviously they've come from an ad, so it's obviously filtered out, but this reinforces that they are the right person. And every time you reinforce the identity, it's like the next best thing to calling someone's name. The next best thing is to describe them and how in the way that they describe themselves. So someone who thinks that they struggle with edema in their legs, etc., someone who feels that their legs are 1,000 pounds, they feel drawn to this, and that means it captures their attention and brings them down further into the video. So into the advertorial. So this is very interesting. I wanted to point this out, the hero image. Normally you'll see just an image there, some kind of intriguing or shocking thing. This is worth testing, having a dynamic image there with GIFs or videos. This is another place where you can have like a demo video. But in this case, they do these GIFs that are like direct response GIFs. It's showing, so on one side it shows, so here, okay, social proof combined with a demonstration with a little bit of direct response elements, a before and after. And this one kind of showing the mechanism a little bit. So let's continue. Then the authority figure is introduced. Hi, my name is Dr. Campbell, etc. I'm not going to read the whole advertorial. Don't worry, it's super long. We're just going to break down the main structures of it, which is really what's important, because any decent copywriter could fill in the structure. You could find a copywriter on a Facebook group who could fill in the structure for your product. What matters is you have your mechanisms, you have believable, strong, compelling mechanisms, a strong offer, and a strong structure is really what it's about. Because within a structure, you can have bad copy and it'll still work. So the authority figure, it talks about just beefing up the authority with big numbers, simple numbers, lots of 10s and 1s, 10 years of research, 10,000 hours, 1,100 patients, and then calling out the main problems. So, edema was so bad you could barely recognize what body part you're looking at. So now we're gonna really agitate this problem. Right away after the authority figure is introduced, or I would recommend even before the authority figure is introduced, but this is more branded, so it's building up the brand value and it's more compliant and everything, so they're willing to sacrifice some conversion rate in order to boost the overall credibility and proof elements, which is fine. But if you're a smaller business, definitely you could start by agitating the problem right away, and they do that through a visual here and a headline. You could barely recognize what body part you're looking at. This is a relatable one for this market, and it's very painful. And look at how this starts right here. It all started with a personal breakthrough discovery I had earlier this year. And he's essentially saying, he's hinting at a solution to the problem. He's not saying overtly yet, but the loop is now opened, and I cracked the code to provide relief from edema. Okay, so he is kind of saying he has the solution to the problem. And then he opens the loop with a story. It sets up a story. They don't actually end up going into like a story here, not so much like a narrative, emotional story like a lot of advertorials will do, but this does set up if you want to put a story here. Again, this is a little more brand friendly, so they're not focusing so much on the emotional selling, more on the informational selling, which is also very good. This structure works well for both, so just keep that in mind. Now we're diving into the root cause. So again, this is more of an informational advertorial, so we dive right away into the problem mechanism. So again, mechanisms are very important when you're doing more informational style and less emotional style. So if you're trying to build an actual brand, you want to do more educational advertorials and VSLs, and in that case, mechanisms and structures really come into play rather than just compelling copy and emotions. What if I told you, let's see what they do here with the root cause, just in the outline. The problem isn't caused by what you think. Very powerful way to start this, to open them up to new beliefs and to get them kind of on your wavelength so that they can just flow through the advertorial, is this first sentence. What if I told you that the cause of your problem is not, what you think it is, it's caused by something different. And here I like what they do a lot. So they say your calves are the problem. So they're kind of shifting you. So they have to shift your belief from, your feet are the problem to your calves are the problem. And the way they do that, one, they overtly state it. And then they give you a new way to look at an old situation. So we say that the calves are like the second heart, and they explain, the heart pumps blood, but so does the calves pump it back. And if your calves get weak, then it can't really work. They use a metaphor and visualization. They make it very clear, very simple. And this is all to help you shift your belief from the feet cause, edema and the legs cause edema. No, it's the calves. So by setting this up, they set up the real problem mechanism, which sets up the solution mechanism, etc., which sets up the solution. The product is the solution. And yeah, so I like how they did this. So they give you the solution in theory. They give you, where is it? Right here. So you need to activate your calves so they start pumping blood again. So essentially, this is the solution to the problem. But you can't just activate your calves. You need a way to do that. So they give you the solution right away, but they don't give you the tactics. This is also a very compliant, brand-friendly way to do open loops and advertorials and VSLs, is to give them the solution, like, oh, you need to heal, spinal decompression. You need to heal your spinal compression to solve your back pain. But they don't tell you how. And it implies that there is a how, so that's why you keep watching. And eventually they'll sell you on the how, which is the product and the solution mechanism. So that's really it for the real root cause, the problem mechanism. They get a new belief by shifting your belief of what's actually causing it. Giving you a new way to look at an old situation. So your edema is actually caused by your calves. Here's the visualization. And also here's a very good visualization. I like this a lot, how they're using kind of direct response 3D animations to show what's really going down here. You can have these custom made with a good video editor or someone on Fiverr or Upwork or in-house, depending on how big your business is. Next, we get into the promise and the solution mechanism. So get relief at home in just 15 minutes per day. This is an implicit promise. Really what it is it's implying that there's a product or a solution that they're going to give you, and the promise is over. You're going to get relief in 15 minutes per day without lifting a finger. And now, so they don't say it's all possible because of our product, buy it now. They say it's all possible because of the solution mechanism. And in this case, it's neuromuscular electrical stimulation. Quite a mouthful. It's a special technology, and then they explain how the solution mechanism works. And kind of gets into a little bit of backstory behind the product in a way that adds credibility to the brand and the product. So we're boosting brand value again. US biotech startup, even that language is very fancy, and it's adding, keep in mind that this is just a direct-to-consumer ad. So the US biotech startup helping 300,000 men and women. So now they have this image in their mind of this is like a legitimate, big, successful company, even though it might just be a direct response e-commerce company. And then we get into the product. So now we set up the product by getting into the problem mechanism, then the solution mechanism that solves that, and then a little bit of backstory behind the company. And now we get into the product. Once they have the proof elements of the authority figure, they have the new beliefs from the mechanisms, they understand the why and the how. Now we get into the product. Let's see, product intro, and then they're kind of just going to sell you on the product. So a little bit like an infomercial, most affordable, that's a benefit. Kickstart your blood circulation, a claim, a promise. You place your feet, the device will immediately start. So it's a demonstration through words. What's going to happen when you put this on? This happens. This is what it does for you. This is how it helps. This is how it feels. Already selling you on it. Social proof. And I like this a lot. So these contractions will get your blood vessels to start pumping blood. So this is what it does. This is what the feature does in your body. And that old stale blood that's now stuck in your feet and ankles will finally start to move again, and the swelling will go away temporarily. So very compliant. I think they had some issues with compliance, but very clean stuff now. And this is so good. This is so vivid. The stale blood is being pumped. So you can almost see it like it's like when you turn on a faucet after a long time, and it's like, it cleans out all the gunk, and then it's, clear and smooth. I would maybe use a metaphor like that. Now it's clear, pure water pumping through. But regardless, this is very powerful. Let's continue. Now they're going to get into the before and after. Well, this is more of the graphic is the before and after, but the copy here is explaining to you how the benefits come to you. So you've never experienced anything like it. It targets the real root cause. So very important to keep emphasizing that. And it's more powerful than any alternative solution because it targets the root cause. So it's more powerful than whatever the market's common alternatives are. In this case, it's wraps, compression socks, or some kind of treatments or services. And this is what you get. So it translates it targets the real root cause. So you get to walk again, stand for as long as you want, and sleep through the night without waking up in agony. So real life dimensionalized benefits. Here's how to use Nooro foot massager for best results. So how to use it, making it real for the viewer. This is all demonstration. The more they're thinking about it, the more it becomes real for them. The more they can feel it, visualize it, experience it. Just get them to think about using the product. Get them to think about experiencing the outcomes with compelling, smooth, entertaining, interesting language, and you raise the buying intent big time. And you can do this as they're doing it. It's in a very white hat, brand friendly way. So this company, Nooro, is just I'm a huge fan of them because they use direct response to build a huge white hat brand that can be sold. So we'll get more into that later. They do some interesting stuff in the close that I'm really impressed by that a lot of businesses don't do. But let's continue. They feel weird at first. You're going to love the results. The swelling begins to fade. So it's just kind of selling you on the product, how it works, again, getting you to experience it. Now we get into 2 testimonials. Nice picture. Amanda 65. Let's see what she says in this picture. Okay, let's keep going. You know what really sucks? So she's going to give you the problem in a way that's relatable, then she's going to agitate it with emotional, vivid language. Your legs feel so heavy and swollen that sleep is impossible without elevating them. Really, I'm only 65 with a family history, so still it's relatable. It's agitating. It's getting you sucked in. So the more you agitate a problem, the more it's like you're getting the viewer to like sucked into it and bought in emotionally, because now their emotions are matching up with the emotions that you're giving, and now it's in tune, and now you can control the emotions that they feel because they've matched up to you. And the way you get their emotions to match up with what you're expressing through the copy is you use call out phrases, relatable words, and get them to match. Their subconscious mind will match to anyone who's using similar language to them and identify with it. This is why we identify with heroes in movies. This is why we identify with main characters in stories, because they think similar to us. So our subconscious mind identifies with them, and then whatever they feel, we start to feel it. And you watch a movie and you start to feel tension when the hero is in a moment of tension. You start to feel relief when they, get their true love or whatever it is. That's why movies are so compelling, and we can use those same principles in marketing, and we can use them in a brand-friendly, ethical, great way, by doing it in an informational way, like Nooro is doing, by doing it in an entertaining way, and by doing it in a way that sells, high-quality products, which again they're doing. Started using the massager. This is the outcome they got within 3 days. I noticed the difference. No more muscle cramps, and then the dream outcome. It's like a whole new world. I'm thrilled. I can envision a future where I'm not confined to a wheelchair. So yeah, very simple testimonial. Problem, agitate, solution. And then what do they get out of it? Same thing in this testimonial. Working long hours on concrete floors. My feet and calves used to swell and become extremely uncomfortable. So agitating this problem, and then they discovered the solution. And bada bing, they got the dream outcome. I've been enjoying relief for 3 months now. Your device has transformed my daily comfort. So they have a dynamic location. And now we get into social proof. So now we've explained to them the problem. So let's just review once again what we've done here, because this is important so you can understand the structure. This is how VSLs work. This is the meat and potatoes. So the headline, promise curiosity, subheadline, qualify them, hero image, exciting. And it was, remember, the GIFs that were, rotating, the 3 GIFs. Authority figure intro, building that brand value and lending more believability to everything we say after that. Then we shock them, we agitate the problem, and then we hint at a solution, we open the loop there. Then we get right into the real root cause, the problem mechanism, the solution mechanism. We introduce the product. Then we give a bunch of benefits, infomercial style, we're really selling them on it, how to use it, we get them to visualize using it and getting the dream outcome. 2 long-form testimonials doing the problem, agitate, solution framework, and then we get into social proof. So we're almost done here, social proof, and then we have the close. But these 2 are probably the most important because, again, as I mention all the time, if you have just what you have up until now, nobody will buy, nobody will click. You need to tell them to buy and why they need to buy. Even if they're totally bought into your problem mechanism, your solution mechanism, etc. When it comes to direct-to-consumer marketing, you need to tell them to buy. There needs to be an overt, direct, clear call to action. They need to be told what to do. Not in a bad way, but when you're in a subconscious consuming state, you need to be told what to do. You're not going to do anything. So let's continue. Thousands of people are getting this dream outcome. If you check out their website, they have lots of reviews. And one thing that I really like, so they have the bunch of images. This is powerful. And then they have different types of reviews. So they have these, which are, I think these are just kind of custom made, but they may be Amazon ones, or they're made to look like Amazon reviews. Yeah, because the 53 found this helpful. So they have these Amazon style ones, then they have Trustpilot. So whatever you're used to, they have a little bit of something for you. I like that a lot. Then they have some before and afters. And then they get into a little bit of visualization. Would you welcome even just a bit of relief, uninterrupted full night's sleep? So they're kind of teasing you with, these are the dream outcomes that you can experience and helping you experience them. This is powerful to get them to keep reading. Since we got into a pitch, we want to keep them throughout the whole close. And one way to do that is to tease some kind of gift valued at $997. And then we get into the imagine waking up, experiencing no swelling, no stiffness, just freedom. So imagine scenarios, very vivid, very visceral. The more you can get them to feel it in their bodies, the more likely they are to buy, because they get a taste of it. And then the next logical step is to get the permanent thing, get the real thing. Important. That's the same thing with movie trailers. They invoke emotion in you. It's exciting, it's curiosity, it's an open loop. And then to get the full thing, you have to go watch the actual movie. You won't find Nooro products in department, so you won't find this anywhere else. So maybe this is where they've identified that people drop off to go look on Amazon. They're going to tell you overtly, it's not anywhere else. Why? Because there's middlemen. We don't want them to mark up the prices. Although I do believe this is available on Amazon. But most of the time, it's a good idea to just keep it proprietary, keep it in your own funnel. You can really control the buying process a lot more, which means more profit, more profitable sales. Not more profit overall, but each sale will be more profitable when you control the buying process because you control the price. There's nothing to compare to. When they're on Amazon, they can compare to a million things without just above the fold. Let's continue. My mission is to do this. We sell directly to customers. So now we're going to do the price framing and the price drop. And then I would encourage you to really go through this and see exactly how this works, because this is a very powerful price drop. So they give you a reason why. So first of all, I don't want any middlemen. Second, I have a mission. That's why we do it this way. We rely on word of mouth. I'm a hero. I'm a good Samaritan. Therefore, I'm not going to ask you to invest $400. In fact, you don't even need to invest $300. Excuse me. If you check our official website, you'll find this massager listed for $200. And many, including myself, consider this a steal. So they dropped it down from 400 to 200. Now they're selling you on the 200, but now they're going to go even lower. You're not going to pay 200. I'm offering it for just 150. That's 25% off our retail price, but that's not all. So they're selling you on each of the increments. Most people will say, I'm not going to sell it to you for 1,000, not for 500, not for 100, but those are not believable. But here, what Nooro is doing, they're stopping you at each increment. They're saying, it's a steal at 200. And I agree. So they'll sell you on the price and then they'll go lower. Then they'll sell you on 150, but they're going to go even lower. I want to let you try it at a special price. Why? We need to give a reason for them to believe that there's actually a cause behind us getting such a low price and a good deal. And here they give a great reason. You made it this far into the presentation. You're serious about your health. This is like word for word from Gundry MD. They cracked the code on this and they found that it works really well. You're interested in seeing how this alternative solution can help you the same way it's helping. So there's a reason they're going to let you try it at the special price. Because if you just say you can try it at the special price, it's not going to work. That's why just making claims and giving benefits and making promises doesn't really work that well if you don't give good reasons why. Not to mention all the proof elements you need. For a limited time, so they're going to drop it now even more to $100. So we went from 400 to 200, we sold them on 200. Then we went to 150, we sold them on 150, and now we go to 100. So that's like, I mean, just imagine for yourself. Imagine you're buying AirPods and they sell you, it's $200 and they sell you on it so well. And you're like, you know what, this is really a great price. And then they drop the price down to $150. And then they sell you on that. They do a whole 5-minute, 10-minute pitch. And then finally they say, you know what, I'm kidding. I'm going to give it to you for $50. Now, the price could have originally been $50, but now that you've been dropped from 200 down to 50, you're so much more likely to buy. Because your mind was trying to justify the $200. So it's convincing you what all the good reasons are to buy at 200, then at 150, then at 100, and then at 50, of course, it's a steal because all those reasons are still there that your mind gave you, except now the price is lower. It's even easier to justify. So remember, this is the only place you'll find it. Let me just see where we're at. So we're about to get into the guarantee. It'll never cost less than this again. From the research close, from a very famous VSL on ClickBank, research. And price framing that's just $3 per day, that's less than a cup of coffee. And then we get into the guarantee, 90-day results or refund. You don't have to make a decision now, taking the pressure off of them. This is powerful. Telling them overtly, you don't need to make a decision now. There's nothing to commit to now. You have nothing to lose now. There's no big choice you need to make. All you need to say is maybe, right? Because we're going to give you 90 days to test it out. And if it doesn't work for 100% certain, then we'll give you your money back. If you aren't thrilled about your results, we'll give you your money back. So the guarantee, the risk reversal, very powerful. And then we get into the customer service. This is a big problem with e-commerce. Yeah, I like how they're differentiating. This is not the type of guarantee that every company does nowadays. This is no gimmick. Try emailing our customer service. They're available 24/7. So they're taking away even more risk. Because that's a big risk a lot of times with a lot of e-commerce companies is they have very poor customer service or none at all. And people are wary of that now more than ever. Warning, by the time you're reading this offer may already be sold out. And this is where we're getting into urgency and scarcity. This is why you need to act right now. So I'm going to kind of breeze through the close because it's pretty formulaic. Here's what to do next. Clear next steps. This is often missing in a lot of places, especially when selling to older people, which most health products are because you don't have health products when you're young, health problems when you're young. Here's exactly what to do next. So they give you the exact steps. Select your package. They're boosting the AOV. You can even go for the 3 times. And, excuse me. Now we get into the crossroads close. The crossroads close is essentially you have 2 options. One is to keep suffering, and then they paint a very vivid picture of what suffering looks like. Nothing's going to change. You're going to keep suffering. What are you going to look like 6 months from now? And the other option is, you see, but the pain will only get worse. That's commonly the phraseology. I'm not saying this to scare you. I just want to warn you. Or are you going to do the right thing? So that's the other option, is you order another one. And it's about your family, it's about your grandkids, your partner. This is what you get. You get all these emotional big benefits for taking action now. You can turn things around, get the relief you've been looking for. And it's very powerful, the crossroads close. And now we get into the offer summary. This is powerful. The demand has increased, so we have the urgency, the scarcity. You get it 50% off. You get fast shipping. They have your dynamic thing. This deal is not available on Amazon or eBay. So they have your whole little offer, and then they have the guarantee, the returns, the fast shipping. And it's like a mini offer, and they're very powerful. And then we're going to get into, this is very, very powerful that you don't really see ever. What separates the successful from the unsuccessful? This is how you know they're trying to build a real brand, that they're setting expectations. If they just wanted to close the sale, they would end this here. But they're trying to actually build a relationship with the customer. So they want you to succeed with the product. So they're already pre-framing how to use the product. This is powerful stuff. You have to use it for 112 days, schedule a free one-on-one onboarding. So they're going to sell you on some kind of service or course or info product there. Nice how they're incorporating that here. I like that a lot. I think I have that here. Yeah, they're going to prep you for the phone sales offer, follow a personalized blueprint. But again, if they're just trying to make the sale, nobody's talking to you about 112 days. If they're trying to close you right now, they're obviously trying to build a real relationship so they can sell you again. And the customer can be a real, asset to the brand because they can buy again and again. And then they're selling you on the app. This is crazy. This is advanced stuff. This brand is very big. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more breakdowns of them because they are the cutting edge of the direct response e-commerce industry. And they're selling you on an app. I mean, it's amazing. So it's a monthly subscription, I'm assuming. Let's see. Yeah, they have info products, courses, $10 a month. And then they have a onboarding consultation, Facebook group, and then you become not just a one-time customer. The average lifetime value of these customers is probably very, very high. And now you have a sellable business powered and built by direct response marketing. And then you could even ease off the direct response a little bit as your back end gets really strong, because you don't need so much profit on the front end. Obviously, when they first built, because I followed this brand pretty much since they started, they were very, very aggressive with their ads and their funnels. They were very aggressive. And then they eased off as they got a spokesperson. They got a real authority figure. They started to get more branded. And then they started to build out their back end, right? So once you build out your back end, you don't have such a need for such a strong direct response. And this is how you can build a real white hat, valuable brand, by having less direct response, meaning it's more consistent, more compliant, and better customer relationships. Again, nothing wrong with direct response. It's very powerful and every business uses it just in different ways. But you don't want to use it so aggressively once you already have a back end that's really strong, because you're just going to have bad relationships with your customers. So once you have your back end built out, you can use direct response to acquire the relationships in a way that's friendly, white hat, and build a real valuable business. So that's this advertorial. This is a very advanced one, but you can build this out in less than a day. I promise you. I used to build these out often, multiple times a week. And the win rate for these is very high. You usually don't have to test many advertorials. Once you have a good advertorial, if it's based on a decent structure, you can test a couple headlines, but in general, the only thing that's going to be a variable is your ad on the front end. So I'm going to include this document below in the description, my number one most advanced e-commerce advertorial lander breakdown. It's a 14-point structure that you can copy. It's everything you need to write your advertorial. And it also has the link here. So you could swipe this. You can see, okay, the headline, you can actually see what it is and how it works, the structure of it. So you can have all the structure and the tactics and the live example of how to write your own advertorial for your own product. So there's no excuse. You can have very powerful landing pages in less than a day. Also in the description is my newsletter and my free swipe file, a huge swipe file with 200 VSLs, the top brands in the game to steal from, the top advertorials, everything that you need to have a really solid swipe file, to have inspiration and ideas for how to build your own assets. It's all in the description below. Also my social media if you want to get in contact with me. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and peace out.